Hello all, welcome to N Reason, the daily current affairs program by Team Enlight. Today we'll be discussing certain topics in news. The first one is 3D printing, important for prelims and mains. We'll see the basic details of 3D printing and some of the benefits and challenges of 3D printing technology. The second topic for today is Financial Stability Development Council, important for prelims and mains. And we'll also discuss the functions of FSDC. The third topic today is African swine fever, important for prelims. And the fourth topic for today is Startup India, important for prelims and mains. So let's move to the first one, which is 3D printing. In today's newspaper, there was an article wherein 3D manufacturing is likely to be considered under the production linked incentive scheme, specifically for the manufacturing of electronic gear. So in this context, let's see what is 3D printing. 3D printing or additive manufacturing is the construction of a 3D object from a digital model. So basically, a digital model is transformed to a 3D printed product using this technology to a hardware product. So using this technology, very complex shapes and products impossible to construct by hand can be made easily. And tracing its evolution, it was under development from as early as 1940s, 1960s, etc. And come to 1980s, in this time, it was restricted to specific materials such as thermosetting plastics. Its usage was restricted at that time, and after these many number of years, in the 2020s, it has now become a more affordable technology with increased access and use in multiple sectors such as confectionaries, and also other industrial parts, automobile parts, etc. Now let's see which all nations are the major leaders in 3D printing technology. US, China, Japan and South Korea are important leaders of this technology at present, and its global market share is set to rise to 34 billion US dollars by 2024. In the Indian context, India's first 3D printed product, 3D printed house, was developed in IIT Madras. So now let's see what are the benefits of 3D printing. Firstly, it enables precision manufacture, such as production in accurate sizes with more durability, and large number of shapes can be produced. It also accelerates India's Make in India initiative, as complex machine parts can be 3D printed and will collaboratively contribute to large scale manufacturing. And also it ensures need-based manufacture and prevents use and throw culture, as digital models can be printed according to use, and it will ensure the extension of product life cycle and minimize wastage. It is also suitable for micro environments and does not require large spaces. So we'll also see what are the challenges in implementation of 3D printing. The first challenge is that the development of 3D printing is still at a nascent stage, and there are no proper framework and global standards at present for 3D printing. And it could also pose a threat to employment sector, and it could result in job losses, as it may affect skilled workers in different sectors, as the 3D printing technology can replace them. And also another challenge is about the high costs involved for large-scale implementation of this technology. Again, we have lack of expertise and skilled workforce for large-scale manufacturing using 3D printing. and it takes sufficient amount of time in production. Again, industries are reluctant to changes using 3D printed parts, as there is a trust factor associated about the durability of a 3D printed product. So government has launched the National Strategy on Additive Manufacturing for creation of a conducive ecosystem for 3D printing in India. So you should be checking the provisions of National Strategy on Additive Manufacturing for your exam. It could be asked for prelims or mains. So now coming to the main syllabus linkage, this is a topic under GS3 and comes under science and technology topic. So let's move to the next topic, which is Financial Stability Development Council. There was an article about the next FSDC meeting to be held on September 3. So let's see what is the Financial Stability and Development Council. It is a non-statutory body created by Executive Order in 2010, and it is under the Ministry of Finance. And the Raghuram Rajan Committee on Financial Sector Reforms in 2008 had recommended the formation of a council like this, and it is chaired by the Finance Minister of India, and its members include heads of all financial sector regulators such as RBI, SEBI, PFRDA, IRDA, and also the Finance Secretary, Secretary of the Department of Economic Affairs, Secretary of the Department of Financial Services, and the Chief Economic Advisor of India. And experts are also included in this council as and when required. So moving to the functions of FSDC, they specifically deal with issues related to financial stability, financial sector development, financial literacy, financial inclusion, interregulatory coordination, and also ensure macro-prudential supervision of economy with respect to large financial conglomerates. They also ensure international coordination with bodies like FATF and Financial Stability Board too. Now coming to the syllabus linkage for mains, this is a topic under Indian economy under GS3 paper. And earlier a prelims question was asked about Financial Stability and Development Council directly, which makes it important for your examination. So let's move to the next topic, which is African swine fever, which is a prelims topic. There was a news article about the threat of African swine fever in India's northeastern state of Assam, posing a threat to the pork industry. See, now in this context, let's see what is African swine fever. So it is basically a highly contagious hemorrhagic viral disease that infects domestic and wild pigs. It was first detected in the Africa in the 1920s, and it's a disease that is listed in the World Organization for Animal Health Terrestrial Animal Health Code, and cases of African swine fever must be reported to the Organization for Animal Health. And it's a severe disease with respect to mortality being almost 100%, and this fever has no cure, and the only way to stop its spreading is safe culling of animals. And the Organization for Animal Health also recommends safe removal of animal carcasses. And it is also to be noted that it is not a threat to human beings, since it only spreads from animals to other animals. And currently there is no approved vaccine for African swine fever. With respect to your exam, this is important because in 2021, cases of African swine fever were reported in India's northeastern states of Meghalaya, Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, and Assam. So this is all about this topic. Now let's move to the last topic for today, which is Startup India, important for prelims and mains. Now this is an important topic for today's news analysis because in Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat, the Prime Minister had mentioned about India's startup culture, which is improving and is penetrating to small towns and cities. So now in this context, let's see what is a startup. A startup is basically an entity that is headquartered in India and up to 10 years of incorporation, it is called a startup and should also have an annual turnover less than rupees 100 crore. So with respect to startup, the government has a flagship Startup India scheme. So we'll see the details of the scheme. It's an initiative of the Government of India launched by the Prime Minister in 2016, and it aims to catalyze startup culture and build a strong and inclusive ecosystem for innovation and entrepreneurship in India. And the agency for implementation is DPIIT, the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, acts as a nodal department for startup initiative under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And as of June 2021, after the launch of the scheme, 50,000 startups across the country has been recognized by the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. And it is to be noted that Maharashtra, Karnataka, Delhi, UP and Gujarat have the greatest number of startups. Now we'll see what are the three focus areas of Startup India. These areas are about providing funding, support and incentives to various startups of the country, and ensuring industry academia partnership and incubation, and also ensuring simplification and hand-holding initiatives for different sectors. So apart from the flagship scheme of Startup India, DPIIT also has a number of initiatives for promotion of startups, such as the Startup India Seed Fund Scheme worth 974 crore rupees, a fund of fund scheme for startups worth 100 crore, state-specific startup ranking to ensure healthy competition among states, National Startup Awards, a Startup India International Summit called Prarambh 2. So now coming to the mains angle, this is also a topic under GS3 and could be asked under Indian economy topic. So this is all about today's news analysis. Thank you.